All right, guys, I know we all wish we could just pull up to a dealership around the block and pick up a truck that isn't going to sell you and your family's every detail to God knows who. But considering that's probably not going to happen for most of us, a lot of you are going to fall prey to modern amenities and shiny gadgets and the bells and the whistles. And I don't blame a single one of you for it. One of my current crop is a 2017 Nissan Titan. I just can't seem to pull away from that particular year. And she's just smart enough to be dangerous. So I've fallen for it myself. I digress. It's okay to an extent. I'm just here to educate you on what to do to get that truck to at least to the point where it doesn't know what you're thinking before you do. So today I'm giving you the step-by-step using what's available right now today to cut down on the evasive, nosy behavior your new truck is absolutely going to have. Now, quick catch up. If you're new here or lost track because it's been a minute since part 2, and a few of you thought I dropped the series, I didn't. In part 1, I showed you the file, 258 pages on one man's driving, sold to insurance companies he's never met. Part 2, I showed you who was buying it and what they paid. Pennies a car. I took my time getting part 3 for one reason. This is the episode where I hand you a checklist you're gonna actually use, standing in a parking lot on a real truck. And I was not gonna hand you that until I had everything nailed down cold, because half the advice online about this is wrong. And the wrong move can shut off a feature you're actually gonna wanna keep. So we're doing it right. Here's the thing nobody at the dealership is going to tell you when you drive off that lot. Let me tell you a true story first so you understand what we're actually dealing with. A man in Maine traded in his truck. Done. Signed it away. Handed over the keys. Drove home in something else. 2.5 months later, he's sitting there with the manufacturer's app still on his phone. And out of curiosity, he opens it, and the truck's still in there. He can see where it's parked right now, a different state. He can see the tire pressure. He can see how many miles the new owners put on it. And then, live, on camera, during a news interview, he remote started it. A truck he sold 2.5 months ago, sitting in another man's driveway, and he fires it up from his couch. He said, and I quote, "I hope I didn't freak somebody out." Fellas, that's not a hack. That's not some genius with a laptop. That's the app working exactly like it was designed to. The sale went through, the title changed hands, and the previous owner still had remote start, location, and unlock on a truck that wasn't his anymore. So, here's the question this whole episode answers. When you buy a used truck, does the last guy come with it? Can he see where you are? Can he unlock your doors? Can he watch your mileage? And the answer on a whole lot of these trucks is yes, until you do something about it. So, let's do something about it. All right, so thing number 1 you do before you even think about your own phone. You make sure the last owner is disconnected. Now here's what most people believe, and it's wrong. And this is the big one. Most people think a factory reset wipes everything. Hit the reset, screen goes blank, truck's clean, right? Wrong. And I'm not guessing. This is the auto industry's own trade press. There's an article that went out to dealerships with the headline, and I mean, this is their headline. Factory reset isn't enough. Their words to their own people. Here's why. The screen on the dash and the little computer that phones home, the telematics module, are two different things. A factory reset clears the screen. It does not necessarily unlock the truck from the previous owner's app account. That connection lives in a different place, tied to the VIN up in the manufacturer's cloud. So the truck can look spotless on the dash and still be sitting in the last guy's phone. What actually severs it? The previous owner has to remove the vehicle from his app account, or you have to call the manufacturer, prove you own it now, and have them transfer it. At the dealership, make them show you it's been removed. At a private sale, stand there and watch the seller delete it from his app before you hand him a single dime. That's thing one. Kill the old account. A reset alone does not do it. An incredible pain in the ass. Evidently, it is what it is. All right, thing number two, wipe out what the last owner left sitting in the system. And there's more in there than you'd ever guess. Studies on this found that 8 out of 10 used vehicles on lots still had the previous owner's personal data sitting right in the infotainment. 8 out of 10. We're talking their phone contacts, their call logs, text message previews, their saved home address in the nav, their actual house, garage door codes, the whole list. Think about that from the other direction for a second. When you sell your truck, all of that is sitting in there for the next guy, unless you scrub it. Your house, your contacts, the code to your garage. So when you buy, before you do anything else, you go into the infotainment settings. You're looking for something like delete personal data, master reset, or clear all personal information. Different brands call it different things, of course. You wipe the paired phones. You wipe the contacts and call logs. You wipe every saved address in the navigation, especially anything labeled home. And clear the garage door opener buttons. Reprogram those immediately because the last owner's garage might just open from your visor. And then, thing to remember, go into your phone's Bluetooth, find the truck and hit forget this device there too. Otherwise, your phone just re-uploads everything the next time you get in. Thing number 3, and this is the one from part 1 that comes home to roost. Remember what I told you way back in part 1. The first thing you do in a new truck isn't check the tires or the fluids. You sit down and you pair your phone. You volunteer. Well, here's where you stop volunteering. When you pair your phone to that truck, a lot of these systems pull your entire contact list and your call history right up into the truck's memory, so it can do the hands-free thing. That's how it works. Convenient. Also, that's your whole address book, now living in a computer that phones home. So here's the move. When you pair, if you pair, watch for the prompt that asks to download contacts or sync messages. Say no. You can still make calls and play your music without handing over your entire contact list and your texts. The truck will push you to allow all of it. You don't have to. Better yet, and this is the free bulletproof version, don't pair your phone at all. Get yourself a little Bluetooth dongle that plugs into your cigarette lighter, or run a wired cable for your music. $10. Now your phone talks to the dongle, not to the truck. The truck never really sees your contacts, never sees your calls, never sees your text, because you never introduced them. The old timers listening who still just plug that phone into a cord and hit play, turns out you've been doing it right this whole time. You're sharing less with that truck than the guy who pairs everything on day one. All right, thing number 4, 2 quick physical things, then the honest talk. First, under your dash, there's a port, the OBD-II port. It's how a mechanic plugs in, and it's also where a lot of these insurance plug-in trackers go, and where a shady shop or a shyster from a dealership can tap all your data. You can buy a little lock for that port, for about $10 to $15. Locks right over it. Now, nobody's plugging anything in down there without your say-so. Second, your key fob. There are Faraday pouches, little signal blocking sleeves, $10. You drop the fob in at night, stops the relay theft guys from amplifying your fob signal and stealing your truck. Also stops the fob from broadcasting all night. Cheap peace of mind. And third, when you buy that truck, they're going to sign you up for a connected services free trial. 3 months free, OnStar, whatever the brand is called. Decline it. Or, if it's already on, cancel it. That trial is the pipeline that sends the data. They gave it away free, hoping you forgot to turn it off. And then they're in there for a year, feeding that exact machine we've spent 2 episodes talking about. Set your home in your navigation to a gas station or a intersection near your house, not your driveway. If that data ever walks, it walks to the Shell station, not your kitchen table. Now, some of you are already typing in the comments. Just pull the fuse, yank the antenna, and plug the telematics module. Problem solved. And I'm going to be straight with you because I assume that's the whole reason you watch this channel instead of the other guys. It sure as hell isn't my good looks or flashy studio. On some of these trucks you can. There's a fuse or an antenna connector behind the dash, and people pull it, and the truck stops phoning home, so to speak. But here's what nobody tells you when they're handing out that lovely free advice. On a lot of modern trucks, that same module runs your automatic crash notification, the thing that calls for help if you're upside down in a ditch and can't reach your phone. It can run your stolen vehicle recovery as well. Sometimes it's tied into your Bluetooth or your emergency calling, and pulling it can throw a warning light that a buyer later asks about. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, yank it, you're invisible, because that's not honest. It's your truck, it's your right to pull that fuse if you want to, but you deserve to know the trade. You might be turning off the thing that calls the ambulance to save 3 seconds of a data feed. You can mostly choke off other ways. My honest take, do the account transfer, wipe the system, don't pair your phone, kill the trial, lock the port. That gets you 90% of the way there without disabling the thing that could save your life. The last 10%, the fuse, you go in with your eyes open, knowing exactly what it costs. All right, let's put this whole checklist in one place. Before you drive that used truck home, 4 things. 1, kill the old account. Make the seller remove the truck from his app or get the manufacturer to transfer it to you. A factory reset alone does not do this. 2, wipe the system. Delete personal data. Clear the paired phones. Wipe every saved address. Reprogram the garage buttons. 8 out of 10 trucks come away with the last guy's life still in them. Don't be the 9th, and don't leave yours in the one you sell. 3, don't volunteer. When you pair, say no to downloading contacts and messages, or skip pairing entirely and run a $10 dongle. 4, lock it down. Cover the OBD port, sleeve the fob, cancel the connected service trial, and set your home address to some gas station down the road. That's it. That's the whole thing. $10 to $15 in parts and about 20 minutes of your time. And that truck goes from an open book to something a lot closer to yours. Now, it'll never be a 1998 that can't say a word about anybody. We covered that. Deaf and dumb, the way God intended. But if you're going to be in a new one, you don't have to drive it home as a wide open informant either. You just did the work most men never do. And that's the whole point of this channel. They count on you not knowing. Now you know. Pull your file, watch your mirrors, and wipe your truck before you drive it home. I'm the highwayman, and I'll see you at the next exit.